Welcome to the program, Janet Rose Nguyen.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. So, do you see her? What is the film all about?
The Do You See Her is a horror film. It's a psychological horror thriller about a young woman, Katie, who has myopia, so she wears glasses and can't see at all without them. And whenever she takes her contacts out or her glasses, she sees this frightening woman. But because of her eyesight, it's always blurry. And when her vision is clear, she can't see her at all.
Yeah, as you can see from when you look at me, I wear glasses, and I gotta just say, Jenna Rose, um, I'm not. You have ruined my life for the last couple of days. Because
All he sees are dead people and monsters now. That's it.
well, to add on to it, there's one line in the short that I also quasi identified with because I sometimes experience sleep paralysis, and so I'm like, no, like to be fair, I'll to be 100% honest, I really love it. It's an amazing short. But yeah, I haven't been able to sleep properly, and I can't take my glasses off without keeping my eyes closed for the last day and a half since I watched it. So good job.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
really happy.
Yes, I'm glad that my pain is sustaining your life at this point. Yeah,
Yes.
no, it it's weird how our brains work sometimes where like something like this, it's I know obviously I know it's a short film. I know it's from the imagination and all that wonderful stuff, and it's beautifully done. But it is always fascinating to me how much something like this can just worm itself into your own brain, as logical and rational as we all are. And then we start going like, what was that?
Mhm.
You see something out of the corner of your eye. It's terrifying. So where was the genesis of this idea coming from?
Well, I've had vision correction surgery since then, but I had really bad eyesight since I was in the sixth grade. And falling asleep and there'd be like a pile of clothes on a chair or something. And then I like open my eyes and everything's blurry and I swear it like forms into like a scary man standing over me and I have to scramble and find my glasses and put them on and I'm like, oh, okay, it's nothing, it's nothing. But the mind plays so many tricks on you, especially when you can't see clearly without aid. So that's where it came from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's definitely, again, that's definitely something you don't want to happen. You don't want to see something. And it is a great launching off point. But what I like about this film is that it's not just they're like that's a great premise and everything, but it's not just this premise. There's more to it. Like we really Katie is going through something, and it's obvious to me that Katie and Mia, it looks like they've just recently broke up with
Hmm.
that box of stuff she's bringing back and stuff. And it feels to me like I don't know, was the relationship strained because Mia just wasn't able to see what Katie was talking about, and Katie doesn't feel heard? Is it like a case of like not being there in the sense that you need to be there for somebody when they're going through something?
Yes, that's exactly it. And I'm so happy you picked up on that because in the original draft of the script, you write exactly what the characters are thinking and feeling, and you're like projecting the story that's in your head. And then through the genesis of the film and through filming and editing, I cut out a lot of lines, but she literally said what you just said in the original script, where she's like, I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. I'm sorry, like I couldn't handle all these things that you're going through. But I removed it because I was like, I think the audience, and you did, can pick that up without her having to say those lines.
Yeah, it's one of the me and Andrew have talked about this multiple times over the years. It's one of the beautiful things about genre, specifically horror. You can layer those subtexts in underneath and still tell a wonderfully, frightening and visceral type of story, but yet have those undercurrents there. Is that part of the reason why you kind of wanted to merge these two, like the interpersonal plus the horrific together in this story?
Yes, because I knew I wanted to do like a fun little short playing with the camera and the blurriness and the vision. But then I was like, I don't want it to just be about the scared. I want it to be about a human going through something really relatable. And I had watched Smile, and I was so inspired by that because it's such a great metaphor for mental health, but it's also really scary and fun to watch. So I was like, okay, that's going to be the inspiration is like I'm going to try to make something scary, but I also want to make something with a lot of heart and true emotion and true human experiences. And this is kind of how it happened. And I was like, okay, how can I, like, what is Katie going through? Who's the other character? Originally, it was just one person and then the scare, right? So it could be like a quick 2 3 minute short. But I really wanted to build a relationship and a world of someone feeling alone and unheard in that.
No, definitely. And well, you did a great job on that. And of course, you got a great cast in this. Ivy Miller, who plays Katie, the main character. You've worked a lot with her. You've got her in a number of. In fact, your upcoming feature, she's in that as well. But she's also been in other shorts that you've made. Motion to approve. I really enjoyed, by the way. But yeah. So you and Ivy at this point must have like a really quick shorthand. You must be on the same way. Like it must be easy to direct Ivy at this point.
It really is, yeah. And we met because we both attended the Canadian Film Center and the actors program. And Ivy's also Vietnamese, so that, and I really like, want to push forward Vietnamese actors and Vietnamese narratives, especially in Canada and North America. And so meeting Ivy was like a, serendipitous, but also the fact that we could work together. I always say, I'm like, thank you so much for letting me put you through all this crazy shit. It's like I'm always making her go through in the future, she has to go through the ringer. And I'm like, thank you for doing all this weird stuff, And yeah, just
when you
kidding.
that's awesome because like obviously when you're doing a short for example obviously features there's a little bit more time, but in a short that shorthand can be helpful, that trust that's automatic, you've built that up. When like is there anything that you like to focus in on when you're doing say a short where you like to try and make the other actors who may not be as necessarily as familiar as Ivy was with you, like to just kind of like this is how I work and everything like that? Is that something that you also focus in on when you're making a short?
I guess I do. I think because I came from the acting world, because I came from acting into filmmaking, I think I have this rapport with a lot of my actors as a friend, but also as someone who came from that world and I know what it is to be on set and be vulnerable and kind of be in this space of being, when you're an actor on set, it's very different because you're in your own world and you have to be in this character and then everything else is going around you, and the crew can be all friendly and like the camera people can be joking with the sound people and then the props are joking around, but the actor is kind of in their own head. And as a director, I really go in and kind of I'm there, and I always like make sure that we have a good rapport and that they're comfortable. So I think that's where it comes from too, and just making sure that they have the space to be heard, to have their ideas, and also that they feel safe to be vulnerable and to play.
Of course, yeah, and it seems very much like Ivy and Kimberly Ann definitely got to have that experience. But I want to talk a little bit about Zara's performance as her, because again, it's all about movement, and then of course the creation of Jay Brzezowska's look for the character and everything. First of all, I want to know what it was like. Like, what ideas did you have for the look of the character that you talked with Jay about? But also, what was it like, hanging out at the craft table and suddenly you turn and you see Zara just sitting there. She can't see shit.
Yeah.
Going like, what are you saying?
Well, okay, so first on with that with Zara's performance, she's always wanted to do prosthetics and we've worked together as well and we're good friends. And she had, she's tall and she has this body type where I was like, oh, that's perfect for Katie to see and be creeped out. And so Zara's done a lot of theater and she's really good with movement, so I knew she'd be great for that. And uh, and then when she was, she couldn't see, and she's the sweetest person on earth. So Jay is like handling her throughout the set, walking her because she's literally walking around blind. She can't see anything, and she's so sweet and demure. But then you look at her and you're like, oh my God! And everyone would look and be like, I can't look at you because the prosthetics were so good. And because she couldn't see, it would be like people would be talking, so she'd be tilting her head to listen to you, and it would be the funniest thing just because it's like this scary face, but then it's just like this person being like like a deer kind of listening.
Yeah, I think it would be funny, but then also just the tilt of the head would make it even scarier as well. So there you go.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it was just so funny because a lot of the performance too, she couldn't see, so we'd have to be like, okay, you're gonna stop in 3 steps, and then be like, cut, and then I'd be like, okay, okay, come closer. So some of it I would have to really coach through, and then Jay would swoop in and be like, okay, we're gonna walk you over here because otherwise she'd bump into things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow,
That's hilarious.
that would, I can imagine how difficult that could be for her to, because that's, like, again, that's, there's a trust in acting anyways with all scene partners, and that's usually because you guys can see each other and you can, that's an easier conversation to have, even just with some, just a subtle stare. But here that's not there. That's crazy. I am curious though, if you have an opinion. I'm not sure if you do or not, but with, why do you think that people are naturally, just inherently, at the lizard brain level, terrified of tall, skinny creatures? I am too. Like the idea of Slender Man, and like I think of things like some other characters throughout, other media that we've seen in movies and television. You see these tall, skinny, and they and they start, they undulate almost, and it's just weird and off-putting. And I'm just wondering if you have an opinion about why you think that is for us.
That's a good question. I think, yeah, because in my head, when I think of somebody, when I was thinking of this, I wasn't envisioning like a short, petite person, and
Mm-hmm.
being a monster. I was envisioning someone long and lanky. And I think maybe because in the human brain, it's close enough to being human, but you can still be, you're a bit elongated and alien-like, and you can be stretched out. Whereas maybe something short and petite is maybe more cute in our heads, or something that we can actually combat more, especially, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's like a psychological subconscious, but I'm not sure. I've never thought about that, but that's a good question. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's always one of those things that sticks. I'm like, why, like, I understand the, like in this case, the prosthetics, and and that is like, bravo, like it's, they're terrifying. But once you add that in with the body type, it's just something that just kind of, in the brain, like I said, like the last couple of days, it's just like, this is a mess up here. It's normally a mess. Andrew can attest to it. My brain's normally a mess, but like lately, ugh,
I think maybe it's the same reason why children are scary in horror films, especially British children.
the worst.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's some correlation between the body type and then the children. So yeah, maybe someone who's like 5'3" and with prosthetics isn't as scary. They have to be,
Maybe.
oh yeah.
So
Oh my
so
God.
we've got a low height threshold. Like you can't max out beyond, say,
You
I
must
don't know,
be this short to
three and
not
a
be
half feet,
scary. Yeah.
but then you got to be like 6 feet plus to kind of like mentally mess with people. Okay, all right.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
have to keep that on. I'm gonna map that out
So
going
we need to
forward.
figure out the safe height spot
Yeah.
to not freak people out.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
the good range to be in? Totally.
I'm
My
just gonna have to
God.
walk around like this from now on.
Yeah.
Once we figure that out, then I'll make a film that's scary with the people of that height.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, you ruin it for all of us. Perfectly. That's great. That's great. Now, I want to talk about something, is that, again, this is a scary film, but I want to talk about something that I find very scary that apparently you're addicted to: Reddit. What is it about Reddit that you? Because like when I go to Reddit, I just like, oh, you never know which path you go down. Suddenly, it's like, oh, there's all these terrible people yelling at me, sort of thing. So, have you found the key to navigate Reddit so you could, keep going back?
Oh, I am addicted to Reddit. It's like, of all the social medias and everything, like I'm not on like I have a TikTok, but I'm not on it. But Reddit, I'm like, I could scroll and read for hours. And like whatever you think of, there's a subreddit for it. And people, yeah, there's a lot of toxic negativity on it, but I actually find there's really funny people and a lot of positivity. Like people have so many puns, they're replying and they have the funniest comments. There's just, there's so many different things. Like on one subreddit that's actually for kitchen staff, there's a Redditor that's posted for 38 days now, I think, straight, of cutting chives perfectly. It's, yeah, and it's made the front page multiple times. It has thousands of upvotes, and every day this chef is just cutting chives, and that's like a community. And I think it's I think it's so fun because it's people from all over the world and we're all uniting over this one person cutting up chives. Like,
That
yeah,
sounds
Yeah,
so perfectly internet and Reddit all rolled into one.
yes, and it's wholesome. It's not like,
Yeah.
there's an escapism too. Yeah.
Is there a particular subreddit that you like like? Are you just like a browser? You like to hit everything, or is there like one that you like every day? I have to check at least this one, see if there's anything new, and then move on.
I just have it my feed, so it just updates all the time. So
Mm,
I'm on
okay.
like a lot of film subreddits, some book subreddits, some paintings, horrors up there a lot, but and then sometimes it's just random stuff like interesting facts from history or photos. So that's what I like about it. It's like you can learn about anything and everything, and people in the comments are always correcting or giving you more information, or they'll be like, oh, this is actually wrong and this is why it's right. And then you'll get links. So it's just like a wormhole into anything you could possibly want to know about.
there you go. Definitely. My God. Now, we mentioned it earlier, is that the next project that you have, one of the next projects you have coming out is your feature film debut, Welcome to Curacao House. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What to expect from that film?
Yeah, it's so it's kind of I was just in this position where I'm like, you know what? I've done a lot of shorts. I'm ready for a feature, but I don't want to be waiting around to try to get funding or, get someone to greenlight me. So I kind of took savings and grabbed a group of people and was like, I have this idea. My cinematographer was in town for another film festival, and he's like, I can come for 4 days earlier and we could shoot something. And I was like, would it be crazy to shoot a feature in 4 days? And he was like, yes, that like we should do a short. And then I was like, but I have this idea. And I wrote this whole outline. And he's like, oh, okay, we can do that. So it's a found footage about a vlogger. So she controls the camera, kind of like Blair Witch or Paranormal, where the camera is part of the story. And it's about Stevie and Claire. And Stevie is a YouTube debunker who is obsessed with debunking, like astrology, meditation, UFOs. And they go into the Kurosawa house, which is this A-list celebrity secretive treatment center that promises to get rid of your technology and social media addictions.
Mm,
So she goes in with her ex-girlfriend Claire, who's played by Ivy, and she's a disgraced journalist. So both of them go into this house and they're both put to psychological torture pretty much and uncover the secret of how their technology addictions are taken care of. And we have Jean Yoon playing So Yoon, who is the director of the house, and it's a completely different character from what you've seen her in other films and Kim's Convenience.
right, right. No, that's
Nice.
awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Gotta say right there, 4 days for a feature. I'm guessing you've had longer to shoot some of your shorts.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, we ended up doing 5 days and then another 3-day block. But it was,
Okay, well, that's not bad.
Okay.
That's still really short because like
Yeah.
I know a lot of people these days, especially in the horror and genre area, are shooting films in like 14 days and 15 days and stuff like that. But like 4 to 8 days, that's tight. That is tight.
it was really tight. Yeah.
You must have been exhausted at the end of it.
I was very exhausted. Yeah. And then at the end of summer, I was like, I'm burnt out. Why? And then, oh, obviously, this is why.
Yeah, that is insane. We've talked to people and we like 14 days. Seems like it's short, it's reasonable. Like obviously 28 to 30 would be great.
But 14 seems like
Yeah.
the indie sweet spot. That's usually what they do about 14. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like that, but to start with 4 and then to get the extra couple of days that you did manage those other blocks put in there, at least you got that. Because I was going to say, like, you had everything done in 4 days. When we actually get to watch this, I would be just blown away by everything, like no matter what is like.
Still gonna be blown away by 8 days though. Like that's
No,
still
yeah,
wow.
Well,
like,
hopefully it's good. No.
no, no,
I'm sure it will
I'm
be.
yeah, I'm sure it will too. It just I like it sounds so I unattainable. I think
Yeah.
is the it like because
Yeah.
like multiple shots or angles, but like I guess the found footage aspect does help with the speed of that
That's the problem.
situation.
Yeah, so because they were with using the camera, we could shoot long scenes and they would be controlling the camera. And then we also had a GoPro, which is part of the CCTV footage because the
Mm.
house is watching you kind of. So we managed to do, we do two takes at once in that sense.
Right.
So
You could just let the GoPro run, of course. Totally. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. But we're getting really creative in the editing process. But yeah, without my team, I couldn't have done it because everyone worked really hard for us to like do all these pages and all these days. And then the actors had to bring it, they like showed up and we did 70 pages in 5 days, which
Oh
is
my God. That's awesome. I look forward to that when it comes out. And when it
Crazy.
does come out, of course, you're welcome to come back and
Yeah.
talk with us about that as well.
you'll be
Just what,
invited to
yeah.
the premiere. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very
I,
much. Now, um, before we finish up here, I found out that you're a big fan of the movie Clueless. I'm also a big fan of the movie Clueless. I
Yes.
think it is like one of those, even though it's a complete, like it is a very specific point in the 90s. Like you feel like, well, that's very 90s. It also has kind of a timeless feel to it. What is it about Clueless that you really resonate with?
Oh my gosh. Well, just watching it, it's so fun. And I think it's timeless even though it is like you said a certain point in the 90s, but also I think it's so smart, like the dialogue, the characters. It's obvious it's based on a Jane Austen novel as well.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Jane Austen and Shakespeare for some reason in the 90s lend themselves to teen films so well.
Oh, true. Yeah.
yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You for
Yeah,
Shakespeare. And then they
yeah,
used Emma for Clueless. Yeah,
exactly.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it was just when you watch it, you're like, oh my God, the dialogue is so smart and the characters are so full. Like I just feel like it's a film that when I watch I'm like, oh my God, it's so smart. And because it's a teen film, people kind of don't look at it that way, and I think that's why I love it, because it's, kind of a female centric. It's about fashion, Beverly Hills, love, but it's really clever and it actually says a lot about the world in its sarcastic funny way.
Yeah, I look at Clueless as the portrait of Dorian Gray for Paul Rudd, because ever since he's done that film, the guy has not aged. Like
Yeah.
you look at the two images of him today
It
and
looks like he
then
walked off the set from
it,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's sucking like a little bit of life from every one of us who watches it, and just that's just rejuvenates him.
That's a good plot, actually. That's a good
Yeah.
idea for a remake of Dorian Gray, but a celebrity of,
there,
yeah, I like that. That's a good
There
idea.
we go.
there you
There we
go.
go. Well, you know what? If
Invite me
you
to the premiere of that
yeah,
one.
yeah, if you end up rolling with that, just invite us to the premiere. We'll be
Yeah.
happy with that. Definitely. Oh my God. But of course, do you see her is playing as part of the Blood in the Snow Film Festival first night, 7 p.m. in the Dark Visions Shorts program. It's looking forward to people checking it out. Of course, people can get tickets at the bitsfilmfestival.com. Check it out there. Thank you so much for coming on the program. We really enjoyed talking with you, and we can't wait to see your feature when it comes out as well.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of it. Of your podcast. So thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.